So most recently, you were a data science manager at Lyft, and you were the director of Rideshare Labs and several data science initiatives ranging from experimentation to simulation in reinforcement learning. Very cool problems. What kinds of business problems were you tackling with these kinds of things? So how were you using simulation and reinforcement learning, which sounds like a really fun thing to be working on? So was that? It seems like the kind of thing that I might, if I was there, I might be like, all right, I really want to be doing reinforcement learning simulations. How can I come up with some kind of commercial objective to apply it to?
Yeah, I think like Lyft has got the benefit of the problem doesn't change. It's kind of been very similar for many, many years. And the core problems of Lyft are quite simple. It's to charge people the right price and then to match riders to drivers in the most efficient way possible. So it's operating a marketplace has some core problems that sort of persist over long periods of time, and so you can afford to spend many years kind of trying to develop the best possible technology to solve those problems. And the benefits have high multipliers, right? Even a small improvement in efficiency multiplied by like all the different markets that Lyft operates in and all the time that you get to benefit from the improvements is quite high. So you get to do this kind of like top of market style research where you really go into the most advanced techniques and iterate upward to the best of breed kind of stuff. So yeah, the two big problems that I worked on most recently at Lyft are these marketplace problems. So dispatch is one part of Lyft's system that decides on which riders get matched to which drivers, and it's a gigantic design space. I mean, every single time you make a request with Lyft, there are many possible drivers that you could be matched to, and each one of those matches is a potential world that Lyft could live in, and some of those worlds are better for that rider, and some of them are worse for that rider, but they have consequences for the rest of the marketplace as well. And
Mhm.
likewise with pricing, increasing in or lowering prices contributes to an individual rider's experience, but then has these spillovers on other people by taking up drivers or relocating drivers into different places. So it's such a complex system that simulating things and trying to understand things from that perspective is a very fruitful way to try to understand it. But also running lots of experiments and trying to try new things in a controlled way and see what you can learn from running a different version of the Lyft algorithms in contained situations.
That is super cool. So something that maybe you were even involved in, something that is a relatively recent development, at least from my experience in New York on the Lyft app, is that for a very marginal price increase, like $1, I can get this like priority. I can be prioritized, and they often write in the app. It'll say what the difference is, and it's often saying like, okay, I could get a car in 4 minutes with the priority, you pay an extra dollar, or get a car in 5 minutes without the priority. But in practice, I find that when I spend that extra dollar, I get a car right away. Like it's like a minute.
Yeah.
And so I tend to do it because I'm like, is $1 worth like 5 minutes of my time, or like did I get to like be at this first date 5 minutes early as opposed to just on time? And like that like level of relaxation is definitely worth $1 to me. So I guess it's those kinds of problems, like figuring out, can we make this marketplace more efficient by allowing people to have more options, and experimenting with those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's I mean, what you're describing is kind of a classic Lyft product idea, which is sort of to try to figure out who's willing to be patient and wait, and who is in a hurry. And without having that option, we don't really know. Lyft can't decide, and so they can't match the closest driver to the person who actually is the most impatient. And
Mhm.
you by willing to pay a little bit of a higher price are revealing that you're in a hurry and you need to be somewhere more quickly, or that your time is more valuable to you than to other riders. And so there's ways in which that's helping the marketplace be more efficient by sort of like letting somebody who's willing to wait a little bit longer, and then there's a little bit of slack created by that. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of fascinating product ideas that can be tested, and they all have huge marketplace implications. And even like deciding whether it should be $1 or $2 or $2.17 or whatever is
Yeah.
also sort of a policy decision that Lyft has to decide.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like dynamic. It seemed like it depends, I guess, on rider and car availability. It seems like it doesn't seem like it's a fixed difference. Well, maybe it
Right.
is.
No. It's probably not. And there's an algorithm that decides it, and that algorithm
Mhm.
has parameters. And choosing those parameters to make the market the most efficient that it can be is a pretty tough problem. And that's what I spent a lot of
Mhm.
time thinking about.